Stand for the pledge.
Yeah.
Test.
Right. We want to get this meeting started, so those of you that after the meeting starts, if you want to go over and get something to eat or whatever's left, feel free to do so while the meeting's going. We don't mind. But if we could all please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Russell, if you'd please do the roll call.
Mayor McKay,
Here.
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
Doesn't sound like Russell. Here.
Councilmember Fisickelli,
He's not here.
Councilmember Hartman, Councilmember Schroeder.
Here.
Okay, can I get a motion to excuse Freddie, please?
Motion to excuse Freddie.
Okay. Call the question.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Okay. Volunteer appreciation. If you would please read that, Russell.
Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida proclamation. Whereas the town of Southwest Ranches was predicated on the notion of residents selflessly assisting one another to preserve a rural lifestyle, and whereas that spirit of selflessness is the basis for volunteerism, and whereas the town of Southwest Ranches recognizes that volunteering improves our quality of life and increases community participation and ownership, and whereas volunteers are vital to our future and we recognize the role they will continue to play in shaping our community, and whereas it is the express desire of the town of Southwest Ranches to recognize the hard work, dedication, and passion of our valued volunteers. Now, therefore, I, Doug McKay, through the authority vested in me as mayor of the town of Southwest Ranches, do hereby proclaim April 11th, 2019 as Volunteer Appreciation Day in the town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, and urge all citizens to volunteer and put their hearts into volunteerism throughout the year. By volunteering and recognizing those who serve, we can promote partnership, understanding, and compassion in our community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the town of Southwest Ranches to be affixed hereto this 11th day of April, 2019.
Awesome.
Doug McKay, Mayor.
Awesome. Thank you. If we could get a picture, all the volunteers come up front, and we have a plaque for that purpose, just so everybody knows. So if we could get all the volunteers to come up front, we're going to come down there and get a picture with you. And hold on, I have a different question. Should we stand up here behind them?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to stand behind you. If you all would line up in front here along the dais, we'd appreciate it. I'll hand this down to you all. You can hold.
Yeah.
You would hold that, please. Jump on in here. Move your chair. Jump on in here.
You guys might want to crunch together a little bit more.
Turn sideways if you have to.
Turn sideways.
Turn sideways. a little.
There you go. Yeah.
In the middle, you can stay straight. Me or you?
Me.
Awesome.
You're good?
Thank you all. I don't know who's going to hang on to this. What do you want me to say?
Like I said, we appreciate it.
All right, Andy, who's
Yeah.
going?
Actually, we'll hang on to it and we'll display it within Town Hall.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, we have two quasi-judicial items that had been scheduled for tonight. Item 4 for New Horizon, a church site plan amendment, and item 5, a resolution approving a site plan modification for the Sikh Society. Both of those items require a full vote, all 5 council members present. As you all know, Councilmember Fisickelli is a little bit under the weather tonight, and for that reason, I'd like to ask for a motion for the council to set items 4 and 5 for a date and time certain to come back in 2 weeks on April 25th at 7 p.m. for those hearings.
I make that motion.
Second it.
Second.
Okay, call the question, please.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Okay, that's table. Public comment. Anybody fill out any cards? Do we have any cards over there?
Yes, Mayor, we have one speaker.
Okay,
You waive it? Okay. Mr. Kaczynski waives. We have no further public speakers, Mayor.
okay.
Public comment calls
So
closed.
those 2 items are done. Board reports?
Done.
Any board reports? See no board reports. We'll close that. Council member comments.
I'll start.
Go ahead, Gary.
Thank you, everybody, and I'd like to especially thank the volunteers who work tirelessly in our town for years and years and years, and this is one of our ways of saying thank you. And thank you from the bottom of our heart, because we know we have people we can count on when hurricanes hit, disasters, flooding, you name it, volunteers all jump in, and that's what makes our town so great. So once again, thank you very, very much. A couple of things I want to bring to everybody's attention, if you don't mind. First off, Easter's next week and Passover. I hope everybody has a healthy, happy, and safe holiday. We have the Flowmobile coming in the 25th here at Town Hall, 10 to 2. Take advantage of it if you can, if you need it. We have the hazmat at the Pines Boulevard and 172nd facility run by Waste Pro from 8 to 2 p.m. on the 11th. And that's where you bring hazardous household waste to them. You just need to show an ID that you're from Southwest Ranches. And we also have a new photo contest coming up for next year. It's called Life in the Ranches. It's available, I think, on the website. Sue, are you here? Is it on the website? Yeah. More information on the website. The picture must be submitted by the 15th of August, and the details on that are in there for judging, and it'll be on this year's calendar coming up. So I just want to make mention of that. Something that went over last meeting, and because the meeting ran so late, I ended up reading this at like after midnight or 12:30, and I think it deserves to be read again. And it deals with bulk trash and the over the limit procedures. And I want to reread this so that everybody understands it. And if anybody has questions, they can field them to the town staff. So I'm reading from a prepared script, so just bear with me here, please. Waste Pro trucks service the scheduled zone, and if a bulk pile is suspect of being over the limit or out of compliance, such as construction debris or oversized, such as the length or size of an item is too large per the contract, like a tree stump or a very long tree limb, the driver leaves the entire pile behind with a tag explaining why the debris was not picked up. The Waste Pro supervisor receives a copy of the tag issued that day at the end of the bulk day shift from the drivers. The supervisor begins to visit the properties the next day to determine if the piles are in fact over the limit or oversized or out of compliance by measuring the piles and taking up to 3 pictures. The supervisor will notice the general services manager, also known as Sandy. Sandy, raise your hand. Okay. and code if items are out of compliance for town action. By Thursday morning, the supervisor, and that's assuming you have a Monday, Tuesday pickup. By Thursday morning, the supervisor instructs the drivers to pick up the entire pile if determined to be in compliance at no cost to the resident, or to pick up the entire pile if over the limit with the cost of $17.50 per cubic yard over the allowed 12 yards charged to the residents. By Friday evening, a weekly report is sent to the General Services Manager for all of the over limit, out of compliance, and oversized items, as most of the out of compliance and oversized items are taken care of by the resident. There has been none reported so far for this fiscal year. In other words, if your pile is too big or has something in it that shouldn't be in it, like tires and things of that nature, or some sort of hazardous stuff, they tag it and they give you a chance to remove it or downsize the pile on your own. And then, if depending on your situation, then they'll come get it at the end of the day. Unless it's a hazardous thing, then they won't pick that up. They'll sort that out and remove the rest of the debris. So I just want to, and if you have any questions, please call Sandy. Raise your hand again. Here at Town Hall, and she'll be happy to answer you with anything you have. And Mayor, that's all I have for right now. I'm out of gas.
Great. Bob?
Sure.
Go right ahead.
I'll be brief. First, I see there's still a lot of volunteers here. As the proclamation said, our town was built on volunteers. I was proud to be one for years. Showing up, getting involved, helping out. It's a great contribution to our town. I want to recognize a group of volunteers that really aren't here tonight. It's the high school kids that are all trying to get service hours for either their to graduate. I think they need 40 hours, and there's also a bunch of kids in town that are building service hours so they qualify for the scholarship on the scholarship application. There's one I really want to call out. You know, our family, volunteer and service is kind of part of who we are. Nancy was on boards for years. My oldest daughter, Dawn, before she moved away, she was at every event, Country Estates, Southwest Ranches, volunteering if necessary. My youngest daughter, Jessica, is a senior in high school, and we just got a letter the night before saying that she has contributed 53 hours of community service, so she qualifies to get a particular chord at graduation. So we're proud of that. Yeah. The next thing that I really want to highlight about her is, you know, she is, I hate to say my pride and joy because they both are, but Jessica has shown leadership skills that just blow me away. She is a volunteer, but also she'll get 6, 8, 9, 10 kids for whatever events are necessary, Country Estates, Rolling Oaks, town. They help out with everything. And where her leadership really came in was a couple of weeks ago, she went to Europe on her senior trip. We had the Country Estates barbecue. The kids showed up that were supposed to be there without Jessica pushing them. I mean, they responded. They did what they needed to do. So I couldn't be prouder of my daughter, Jessica. So I wanted to call that out. Thanks for listening to a proud dad. I don't know how we're going to get volunteers next year. She's graduating. Moving on, how many attended the Seek Scholarship Fund 5K last week? A couple of people in the room. I was kind of towards the end, walking very slowly, but we made it there. We had incredible participation. For those who weren't there, there were 500 people that registered and paid $20, and whether they showed up or not, they all contributed. It was big. It was amazing for an inaugural event. I mean, it was extremely well organized. I used to run 5 and 10 Ks back when my hair was a few shades darker, and this was just as well run as the Corporate Challenge down in Miami or the Jingle Bell Run up in Sunrise. This was extremely well done by both our scholarship committee and as well the Sikh Society. It was a tremendous partnership, and if you haven't heard, it also raised $10,000 towards our scholarship fund. Again, volunteers. And this will be the last time for this year you hear about the Country Estates barbecue. It went off very successfully. We had lots of people show up. One of the things that I did want to call out is that Country Estates has been running a membership drive over the last couple of months because our membership needed to be bolstered a little bit. We're now at, unless you've received more applications today, Debbie, we're at about 10% of all the people that live in Country Estates are now members. So hats off to the leadership team at Country Estates and our new president, Steve Brycruz. Who did I forget that I'm going to want to thank in about 2 minutes? All right, that's all for now. Thank you, folks.
Dee?
No, I'm good, thank you.
You're good. Okay. Well, I want to say those of you that made it to the Rolling Oaks Easter egg this past weekend was a great success, as always. Easter Bunny did a great job for pictures, and it was a very nice event. The 5K was amazing. I did not run it, but I did walk it. I think it was an hour and 12 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes or something, but
He
I walked
crawled.
it. I completed it anyway. So I was thrilled to be a part of it. It was a great event for a first, extremely impressive for a first inaugural event of that type. So to the Sikh Temple, hats off. You all did a bang-up job. Greatly appreciated. We thank you. Thank you for the contribution for the scholarship fund of $10,000. And look forward to assisting next year. And I can't imagine how you're going to top it, but it was amazing. So other than that, I'm good. Legal comments?
None.
None. Okay. Well, I want to welcome you, Mr. Go ahead.
Except that I'm always so happy to be with everyone here, including those out there, because this is such a comfortable hometown environment, which we might not get on the east side. So, thank you very much for allowing me to be here.
Awesome. And thank you for coming and filling in. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, sir. All right. Mr. Burns, you're up to bat.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. One is I wanted to make certainly the council and the residents aware that Broward County has now instituted, as of last week, the ability to text to 911. So if you're in an emergency situation, it's absolutely recommended that they have the ability to call 911, that you do so. But if you're in a situation where it's an active shooter, you're not able to use a phone, you can't hear, you can text to 911 to convey your emergency. So it's a new service they're rolling out. There's some things that are critical to that. It should only be used when you cannot call. You should not use any abbreviations. You should not use any emojis. And that system, I can't figure them out, so I guess the operators can't either. So no emojis, and for the time being, that service exists only in English, but that will be expanded as time goes forward. So we've gotten some information from Broward County. Just want to let you know we'll be sharing it in the building and via social media and through the newsletter as well.
So I got to jump in here. So those people that don't know what emojis are, do you want to explain that or no?
I just said I don't get them.
I just was having fun with that.
Mayor, I've gotten texts from my son with emojis. I have no idea what it's hieroglyphics. I have no idea.
Okay, what else?
After smiley faces, I kind of got lost.
Okay.
So. And the other thing is it's census time again, and so it's time for the town to form a 2020 census complete count committee. So the town is obviously committed to partnering with the U.S. Census Bureau to help ensure a full and accurate count. An accurate census count is vital to our community and residents' well-being because it helps planners determine where to locate schools, daycare centers, roads, public transportation, hospitals, and other facilities. It's used to make decisions concerning business growth and housing needs, and probably more important than that, near and dear to our heart, there's a lot of funding that we receive per capita. So those counts really matter, so it's very important for us to get it right. So the town is cooperating with Broward County and the U.S. Census Bureau, and so we're looking to establish an informal complete count committee charged with the responsibility of supporting and supplementing the mass communication efforts of the Census Bureau by attempting to reach all segments of our total population, especially emphasizing the confidentiality of the census information. So just want to let you know we can use your help. We're going to be reaching out to our HOAs. our business owners, our leaders in the community to form that committee, bring it together to make sure that the town is as successful as we can in that effort.
So are you going to throw our lead staff member under the bus here to like her for the
Should you
contact?
say that, I'll be glad to point out Emily Setti, who is, I don't want to say Emily's been here a long time, but it's not the first census that she's played this role with. So it's certainly good for us from that standpoint. We've got somebody experienced in that role and ready to go. So certainly for anybody who hears my words here today that we don't reach out to separately, if you have interest in participating in that process, please reach out to Town Hall and contact
Emily, if
Emily
you'd
Setti.
please stand up so they know who you are.
We'll clap.
Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and that's all I have for you tonight.
Okay. All right, Russell. I guess number 11, are we going to do that, or what are we doing here on that?
Yeah, Mayor, if you want to read it into the record, get a motion in a second. I would like to explain what that is, though. If you'd like me to do it before, I'd be happy to do that.
Go ahead. You can explain
Okay.
it before.
The council may recall at a previous meeting, there was a resolution brought forward or an ordinance brought forward that would have reestablished the old standards for nurseries and for commercial fisheries. There was a lot of debate among the council. There was a tremendous amount of input from the public, and the council made the decision, and you all voted 5-0, to send that to the comp plan board to be reviewed and to be worked at, because the residents had a lot of questions, felt there might have been other ways to do that. The comp plan board has had a meeting where they chewed on this, and they came to the determination that they didn't feel that this was that lot size minimum warranted a separate motion and a separate effort, that they felt that was something they could address in the greater picture that they were working on in looking at revising nursery and landscaping ordinance issues. So what we're bringing before you tonight is to put a zoning in progress that only applies to new commercial nurseries less than 2.4 acres. So any ongoing efforts in the town, anything that's out there, anything that exists now does not apply to. It's only a new nursery that's coming forward that would be less than 2.4 acres. We're putting in a 6-month zoning in progress to allow the comp plan board a little bit more time to chew on this and come up with something that might meet the satisfaction of the council for consideration.
All right. So, Russell, would you please read that in?
Mayor.
Yes,
may I
go
point
right
out
ahead.
Something?
Sure. Gladly.
Just as a matter of clarification, it would apply, if adopted, to the expansion of an existing facility,
Okay.
but only the expansion.
Okay. All right. If you'd read that, please.
A resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, enacting a zoning in progress pursuant to Section 005-240 of the town's Unified Land Development Code to further regulate any new commercial nursery, expansion of an existing commercial nursery, or storage or growth of any plant material in containers, enacting a zoning in progress for a period of time not to exceed 6 months or until the town's revised regulations have been adopted, whichever is sooner, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any public comment on this matter? Seeing no public comment is closed. Any questions up here? All right, call the question.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. All right, approval of minutes.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any public comment on our minutes? They've been corrected before. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any additional add or deletes from up here? No? Call the question, please.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Appointments, Broward League of Cities, director, alternate, and second alternate.
Well, I'm going to make a motion on that. I want to make a motion that Bob Hartman be the representative for the League of Cities, and if he can't perform his duties that day, that Mr. Jablonski would step in.
I'll second that.
Can we open that up for discussion?
Of course we can.
And who's the second alternate?
Well, I was going to volunteer for second alternate because I get these notes from Sally Cochran all the time.
Yep.
I've actually
Sealy.
called Sealy.
Yeah.
Never met the person, but
I think you met her in Tallahassee, but.
did I?
Yeah.
I've already given her humble apologies that they have these meetings exactly when I'm at work. So, I mean, if there's a third alternate needed and two other people ahead of me can't make it, I'd be happy to be the third alternate or second alternate. I can't commit, sorry.
That leaves you or Freddie.
I have a day job, guys.
I got a day job too.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, it's something I really have difficulty. I would have difficulty.
I sit on the MPO.
I know.
I trump you both.
And I've been doing it for God knows how many years.
And you've been doing a great job.
Phenomenal. I've only heard great things about your job, Doug.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Somebody's got their hand up in the audience. Laura's got her hand up. Maybe she's got a suggestion.
No. What about you, Andy? What are you doing during the day?
Yes, I have a day job. However, I will continue to serve this town in whatever capacity you all deem necessary.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we table it till Friday's back and we'll readdress this at the next meeting?
Freddie can't do this. You know that.
He's a vote.
He is a vote, but we've got to do something. I mean, even if you can't make them every month, I mean,
Listen, I miss lots of them, unfortunately.
you know, it's not like and I hate to compare them, but it was like going to MPO today. It was important that I was there today. Those are really important. League of Cities is a little bit of fluff, and I don't think it's you know, a dire need each time, but
It's only once a month, right?
once a month. But sometimes once a month can be a hinder if you've got meetings planned for that month. But you usually have plenty of notice with them.
Yeah, here's the challenge I think we all have.
It's on our Thursday meetings usually.
It's this one is on the comp plan board meeting night on the 18th, which is what, next Thursday, right? So, yeah.
Well, it's usually in the morning, and sometimes it runs to the afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Like
they
I
do
said, I
feed you.
respond to them, letting them know I can't make it.
I can't take on anymore.
I think all of us have that problem where time is a constraint on us. You know,
But have you ever served on one?
huh?
Have you ever served on any of the boards?
Yeah.
Outside of, she means.
No, I mean
I
like
think she's referring to
League of
outside
City,
of
MPO,
town. Not
any of those.
the
Not-
internal,
not the internal.
not our internal boards, but the exterior boards, whether it be Broward
Oh,
County,
it's
MPO.
important.
That's what
that-
she's
No,
referring to.
I've been elected alternate several times, several years. That's not new. I mean,
Once in a blue moon.
Well, that's why I said second alternate. I mean, if somebody else, two other people can't make it, that's once in a blue moon.
Should I volunteer for another one, Steve? What do you think?
No.
I can't. I can't do no more. Sorry. Well,
Want to table it or no? Till
Make a
Friday's
motion to
back?
table it to next month.
I'll second it.
call it.
Call the question.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes?
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
what are we voting on?
Tabling this till
Yes.
next.
Mayor McKay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Comprehensive Planning Board Advisory Board appointment, we're going to table till next meeting.
Yeah,
I'll make a
Ma-
motion.
Go ahead.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes,
because
go right ahead.
the residents here,
Go ahead.
it's an agenda item.
Okay.
I just wanted to lay out what
Go
you're
right ahead.
faced with, why you were suggesting that.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just got two applications this afternoon that I haven't had the time to review yet.
All of us did.
Yeah, yeah, so I'll make a
Little more
motion that
time.
we defer this, we table this till next month.
I second it.
Go ahead,
ahead,
Andy.
Andy.
Anything else?
Yeah, well,
Andy wants to
you'll
explain.
want to call the vote, but you're all aware of what was going on.
But the
because
audience
you've
is
received
not.
emails.
Yeah.
The audience is not, so I'd like to just catch them
Go right
up
ahead.
to you, if I may. As you all know, you had 7 appointments to the comp plan board for the current year. There's currently a position that is vacant, so that 7-member board currently sits with 6 people on the board. As of this moment, and 2 of which were just recently received, there are 5 applications for that 1 slot. They are in alphabetical order, no preference: Jim Albritton, Sally Broken, Newell Hollingsworth, Samantha Schroeder, and James Starkweather. So those 5 have applied and would like your consideration for the vacancy that's on that board. Ms. Schroeder's application and Mr. Albritton's application just got out to you all today, so they're hot off the press, as it were. So for that presently one vacancy, there are 5 applications. 2 things, you as a group individually have not had time to research all of those as you may choose to. Plus, there are 4 of you here tonight when this is a 5-member council. So from that standpoint, I would concur with the recommendation to table it, but I wanted to catch the public up with the discussion that you're all having here.
All right, thank you. Yes.
Can I get some clarification? I think the motion might have been to table it to next month, or is it to the next meeting?
I'm sorry, next meeting.
Next meeting, okay.
Yeah.
April 25th.
All right, call the question, please.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes?
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes.
Meeting over.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Motion
Thanks,
to
everybody,
adjourn.
for coming.